traumatized. I'm seeing all the signs, they are Nazis. Do-do-do-do-do. But seriously, Ace of Base are maybe Nazis, and we should talk about that.
Disclaimer, we're not actually saying they definitely are Nazis, but they're just theories.
It's just a conspiracy
it's
theory
just
video.
A conspiracy theory, so please don't sue us.
All right.
No, you're never gonna see this.
Yeah, well, they might.
Yeah, if they do, please don't sue us.
Yeah, please. We're just children.
Yeah, we're literally actually children.
Okay. So, I guess we should introduce ourselves.
Yep.
So you going first? I'm going first?
I'm Ari.
I'm Mariette.
I'm Izzy.
Uh,
And today we are discussing the Ace of Base conspiracy theory that they are, in fact, neo-Nazis.
First, we'll go over the conception of the band, starting with Ulf Ekberg, the founder of the band. He was born December 6th, 1970, and he was born in Sweden, in Gothenburg. He started in a band called Commit Suicide when he was in the ages of 13 to 16. And in that band, there are reports of some racist lyrics that are rather explicit, saying, die immigrants and other things that are really not great to talk about. Other media outlets reported that Ekberg was, in fact, a neo-Nazi skinhead from a time. And in 1988, he was part of the leadership of the Sweden Democrats in Gothenburg. In 1898, some of his old songs were released on the compilation album Ulf was a Nazi, including songs like, and I'm going to butch the Swedish because I don't speak it, War in vårt land, Don't Touch Our Land, Vit makt svartskatt slat, White Power, Black Head Slaughter, and a cover of Screwdriver Smash the IRA with the lyrics changed to refer to the VPK. If you don't know what the VPK is, it's more like the American Democrats. It's the left side of the political spectrum in Sweden.
In 1997, documentary Our Story, Ekberg said, I told everyone I really regret what I've done. I closed that book. I don't want to even talk about it. That time does not exist in me anymore. I closed it and threw the book away in 1987. I took the experience from it, I learned from it, but that life is not me, it's somebody else.
So, he's saying that he understands what he did, and he's saying that it's wrong, he doesn't support it anymore. But does that excuse that he may have been a neo-Nazi?
I mean, it would possibly if he had not formed the band Ace of Base and there are explicitly neo-Nazi signs in all of the songs. Well, not all of the songs, but
so,
a lot of them.
Yeah. Ace of Base was conceptualized and formed in 1990. The group released 4 studio albums between 1992 and 2002, which sold more than 30 million copies worldwide, making it the 3rd most successful Swedish band of all time after ABBA and Roxette.
ABBA was Swedish?
Yeah, ABBA was Swedish.
They're Swedish.
You didn't know that?
You're the only ABBA freak here, I'm sorry.
Well, okay. Their first album, Happy Nation, is one of the best-selling debut albums of all time and was certified 9 times platinum in the United States. It was the first debut album to produce 3 number-1 singles on the Billboard Mainstream Top 20 chart. That is All That She Wants, The Sign, and Don't Turn Around. Following the formal departure of the singer Lynn in 2007, the band performed a series of concerts as a trio in Europe and Asia between 2007 and 2009. Jenny Berggren said in November 2009 that she would be taking an indefinite leave of absence from the band to focus on a solo career. I don't know if that went too well because I haven't really heard of her, but maybe she's popular in Sweden. So after Jenny left, in 2009, Jonas and Ulf, the 2 remaining members of the original band, recruited 2 female vocalists, Clara Hagman and Julia Williamson, and released The Golden Ratio in September 2010. Clara and Julia departed from the group in 2012, and in March 2015, the compilation album Hidden Gems, featuring unreleased songs and B-sides from the group's inception through 2005, was released, with promotion for the album being handled solely by Jonas and Ulf. So, now that we've all talked about the conceptualizing of the band, and we're going to be
using the Cracked article, How a Pop Band Tricked 9 Million Americans into Being Nazis.
We're going to be using direct quotes from the article. So Cracked, don't sue us.
Yeah.
Also, because we're children. We're going to be reading a sample of the band's lyrics from one of their songs, and the translation is, "Men in white hoods march down the road. We enjoy ourselves when we're sawing off N-words, heads. Immigrant, we hate you. Out, 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 out. Nordic people, wake up now. Shoot, 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 shoot."
Just to be clear, that's from the Commit Suicide song, not Ace of Base.
Yeah, that's not from Ace of Base. That was good. Yeah. As the article states, we're also going to say the same thing. The Vice article covering the same topic states a lot of writes up about Ekberg's past, and us as a trio, we definitely recommend checking out that article because it'll tell you a lot.
Yeah.
It has some good points as well.
Yes, definitely.
And that's it. We're going to ask a question now that the article asks. Did Ekberg use Ace of Base's success as an opportunity to wipe the slate clean and erase his neo-Nazi past? And we're going to say no. No, he didn't.
Yeah, I personally feel like he used Ace of Base to continue that legacy, just in a more subtle way.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not as subtle, because like once you see the signs, it gets pretty intense.
They opened up my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the signs, and we have opened up our eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
We've seen the signs. Doodaloo, doo doo doo. Now, so we're going to start off with one of the facts about the band's name, as the Cracked article brings up, that bases where U-boat captains would meet up were frequently called the base of aces. And what's the name of the band? Ace of Base. Now,
these were literally Nazi German, like, ships or submarines.
no,
U-boats
U-boats
were under the water.
German submarines that they used to attack like American and British ships during World War II. And before World War II as well.
Yes, and U-boat captains, were the captains of the ship. And it's not that they would meet, that's not where they were called on the ship. They weren't called the base of the aces on the ship. It's that they had a meeting place in Germany called the Karaman submarine base. And it was called the base of the aces because the captains were called the aces, and it was a base, so base of the aces. And then the band, Ace of Base. Now when asked about that, the band said that the base is the studio where they record their songs, and that Ace is like a master. So they're saying that they are the masters of the studio. However,
that's still super sketchy.
That's still stupid. That's so sketchy. Because why not just call it, Masters of the Base?
Yeah, Masters of the Base.
If you're not convinced through that, there is another thing, which is their debut album, 1993's Happy Nation. Talking about it, the word nation.
Yeah, the nation the word nation, especially in this context, just grabs your attention right away.
Yeah, because, making a unified nation or whatever. The lyrics are suspicious without anything else extra being added to it. And we're gonna get to that later as, we're following the basic outline of the article. But that there's this chant at the beginning of the song. It seems to be a weird mix of Latin and Hebrew, and it has never been translated 100% by anyone.
Yeah.
Those who have tried suggested it's some variation of this. On the wings of the eagle with God's help, I was there before everyone. In the meantime, I will kill you. I was there before everyone.
That's super creepy.
Sucks.
Well, that's also some blatant neo-Nazi and Nazi symbolism right there, because the Nazis used big birds of prey like a hawk or an eagle. Well, not necessarily an eagle, because it's more of an American, because the national bird or whatever. Nazi symbolism using the hawk as their symbol, they thought it symbolized power. Yeah. So relating it to an eagle in their song is kind of, relating it to that Nazi symbolism that we've talked
I feel like
about.
that's a little bit more of a stretch.
Mhm.
But like
It's a little stretch.
yeah. In the meantime, I will kill you part.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more sus.
But no, okay, I'm just gonna go off base here for just like a quick second. Taking a Latin off base. Taking a Latin class, which I have, a lot of the phrases in Latin are not really like single words, they're more of like a whole phrase. Like how in Spanish you learn like, hi, how are you? In Latin you learn like, hello, I'd like to drink the blood of your enemies. That kind of crazy stuff. Not really normal sentences. So it could just be a mistranslation of either Hebrew or Latin, because that does happen quite a bit.
Yeah, like I was gonna say that this part could also be like a little bit of stretch because it said like before that it hasn't been 100%
Translated.
Yeah, so like it could be different like meanings in there.
We're definitely starting with this point because we feel like it is one of the weakest points that we have.
Yeah.
So if you continue watching, which you should, don't
Yeah.
be a bitch. We have a lot stronger points.
Yeah. The wings of the eagle and also Old Latin and Old Hebrew are two very difficult languages.
Yes.
They're two of the hardest languages I would guess to say, because nobody really knows how to speak them very well.
And my mom tried to teach me Hebrew when I was like 7 or something. Didn't work.
Yeah.
It really didn't work.
Happy nation, living in a happy nation, where the people understand and dream of perfect match situation, lead to sweet salvation, for the people, for the good, for mankind brotherhood.
That could just be like, brotherhood as in like, not necessarily being like the KKK. It's called the Brotherhood. But it doesn't necessarily have to mean that, because a lot of the time brotherhood is used to describe the companionship between people who are very close to each other.
Yeah.
But still knowing their past.
Yeah, but knowing their past, knowing their neo-Nazi ties that they have, it's very suspicious
Yeah.
because of what brotherhood can be known as today with the KKK and
they
other
knew,
subjects.
they knew that.
Yeah, they had to have known that at the time.
Also, just the line of a dream of the perfect man is like.
Yeah, because of the Nazi perfect the Aryan race, perfect race, blue eyes, blonde hair. That's perfect, the dream man.
Yeah.
And
Dream woman.
dream woman.
Yeah.
Sorry. God. So this is starting to sound like maybe it's a love song to Hitler, which
Yeah.
is
A little bit.
not good.
Definitely not good.
So we're going to be looking at the next verse.
Ideas by man, and only that will last. In all that time, we learn from the past that no man's fit to rule the world alone. A man will die, but not his ideas. Happy nation, living in a happy nation, where the people understand and dream of perfect match situation, lead to sweet salvation, for the people, for the good, for mankind brotherhood.
Now, one could say that this is very suspicious because it relates to Hitler. But a thing I want to bring up before we go any further is that while it's in the music video, it's not a black screen that's showing, it's actually the origin of species. And if we have that little GIF, we'll be showing it on the screen right now. It's actually the origin of species. So one could plan to say, maybe they're just saying that Charles Darwin was important, his ideas won't die.
Until you look at the
Full
name
title.
of the book.
Yeah, full title of the book, which is
On the origin of species by means of natural selection or the preservation of a favored races in the struggle for life.
And that makes it very suspicious
Yeah.
because of the Nazis and what they had a favored race. They did.
Yes.
It was white.
And they tried to preserve it.
Yeah, white. Like
White supremacy.
White supremacy.
Yeah.
That is that's very, very, very suspicious.
Very extremely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're not convinced, if you're not convinced, that's okay. We have more. This is taken from one of their biggest singles, All That She Wants. This is also, I think, from their first album, or maybe, I know that it was one of their top singles.
Yeah.
It's about, a quick scan of lyrics shows that it's about a woman who leeches off to society by tricking men into getting her pregnant so that she doesn't have to work.
When she woke up late in the morning light, and the day had just begun, she opened up her eyes and thought, oh, what a morning. It's not a day for what? It's a day for catching time. Just lying on the beach and having fun. She's going to get you. All that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, boy. All that she wants is another baby. Yeah. All that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, boy. All that she wants is another baby. Yeah.
That it's a pretty telling thing, as the only like very right, conservative people believe that this kind of person actually exists. Not saying that this person doesn't exist, but we're saying that in the ideals of political and personal views, it's mainly very conservative people that believe that this person even exists,
Yeah.
and who are very conservative.
Especially at this time period. It's
Yeah.
the 90s. It's not like it's like
now.
early, yeah.
Or earlier or now.
yeah.
Okay, but what is more suspicious than the lyrics, so we're going to put it up on screen, is the fact that when they're talking about this, the first 15 seconds of the video, what they're showing is who they're directing all of their hate towards is a person stroking a necklace that just has a bunch of 6-pointed stars.
The Star of David, if you do not know, is the
Pull it up.
Jewish symbol.
6 points.
Yeah.
6-pointed
It's a
star.
It's a 6-point star, yeah.
And that is that's super suspicious, because
Yeah, 100.
why in particular did you have to use that kind of star?
Yeah.
They're normally when you do a star, it's like a 5-pointed star, because that's what little kids learn to draw first.
Yeah.
Well, not me.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you're a special case.
Are you saying Jewish people are special?
No, I'm saying that you're different. Okay, but anyways, the fact that they use this over anything else in the video, because it could have just been a woman stroking a bracelet or stroking a necklace.
Yeah, like just a beaded necklace.
But
like,
the fact that they used the stars.
especially,
is an important
like you
part.
said, the 6-point star.
Yeah, the
And
specific
some
fact.
might argue that it was to connect the bracelets. Like as you will see on the screen, the 2 top points of the star are connecting to the rest of the necklace.
But if you've seen literally any other children's like bracelet before,
Yeah, you know that that's not
they
necessary.
they have the thing. They all of them connect because there's a string on the inside, because that's how necklaces work. This is all pointing towards the band being like, hey, neo-Nazis, you should watch out. So the question is, and I'm going to pose this question right now, so that we don't necessarily finish up with this question, but we talk about it early and maybe talk about it later, is why did no one recognize it?
Yeah.
Because
that is a good question.
everyone at this time basically kind of knew about his past, and they knew about Ekberg's past, and they knew about what he had been a part of. So why did no one realize all these symbols that are in it?
I feel like at the time, because again, this is like the 90s, people weren't super into like these in-depth conspiracy theories, and to people who are just listening to the lyrics, it might not be as obvious. Like if you're just hearing a song on the radio.
Yeah.
Especially if it has such a catchy tune. Like,
Yeah, like I saw the sign.
yeah, like the sign.
Yeah.
That's a good song. It's very catchy.
It was in my nightmares as a child, but
We're going to be continuing on. The album was retitled in the United States as The Sign, which is another suspicious point that I'm bringing up, because why not call it Happy Nation in all the countries that they released it in? Maybe because they knew that it was propaganda, and they thought that maybe someone would realize that.
yeah. Because again, the word nation in this context is very odd.
Especially with all the evidence that we've been lining up right now.
Yeah.
And also someone who's been having the background of saying that immigrants are bad, coming to the United States, calling it Happy Nation, and having that passed, maybe a reason why they changed it to the sign.
Yeah, that's
Instead
a
of calling it
good
that.
point, yeah.
Because America is made up of a lot of immigrants.
Yeah. They themselves. I mean, I'm not saying that going to America is just going is like immigration, but like people might.
Yeah. So another part of a song that we'll be looking at is the song "Living in Danger." The message that immigrants are bad is also kind of delivered in this song.
You're living your life in peace and in harmony. You're making your own decisions. That's how it's got to be for you and me. So many people running round without any sense of logic. I see lies in the eyes of a stranger. Whoa, you've been living in danger. I see lies in the eyes of a stranger.
This one I think is a little bit of a jump as well,
Yeah.
because yes, people have a habit of calling immigrants strangers, but also literally everyone you meet on the street is a stranger.
Yeah. I do definitely feel like this one is not as concrete as the other ones.
But just going back to the fact that he did write those songs
Yeah.
is probably why the connection can be made,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make perfect sense.
Yeah.
But it's there.
it is there.
Um,
Not totally 100%, but like it's something.
yeah. Oh, as we're going back to changing the title to changing the title from Happy Nation to The Sign. Somebody who would know that, maybe spreading that message that immigrants are bad is not the best thing to be spreading to the United States was who they published the record through, which was Robert Murdoch. He owns a bunch of almost as much as the media as one can own without becoming a supervillain, which is kind of scary. He has newspapers that spread anti-immigration hatred all over Europe and Australia, and his cable television network, Fox News, does the exact same things in the United States.
He owns Fox
He
News?
owns Fox News.
I thought Disney owned Fox.
What?
Doesn't never mind.
Never mind.
Disney does own Fox.
You can have multiple shares in a company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Disney owns like so many news channels.
Anyways,
Disney
Robert,
also has Nazi ties, but
At-
that's a different thing.
at the time
Next one.
that
Next
this
episode.
article was released, Robert Murdoch owned anti-immigration hate newspapers all over Europe and Australia, and as well as Fox News. Now that's even more suspicious because of Ekberg's against immigration past. He's teaming up with Robert Murdoch,
Yeah.
and
I think I've heard about this guy before.
yeah, the record
That says
label.
Rupert, not Robert.
Oh, sorry, Rupert Murdoch. All right. Anyways, he owned the record company that they established Happy Nation from, Festival Records. Festival Records, which they released their album through most of Europe and the rest of the continents. They're mainly based in Europe. They released through Festival Records. So even though the record was released by Arista Records here, that's because Festival Records had a deal with Arista Records all the way back in the 70s.
You're trying so hard not to say Aristia.
I am trying so hard not to say Aristia. It's weird. So that kind of wraps up most of the evidence that is in this article.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
specific article.
Yeah. There's probably a lot more that we could have said, but we were focusing mainly on
On the cracked article. So what I want to end this with is why the music took such a hold in the United States. And this article explains it very well. It's not that there was a lot of bad music on the radio, it's that there was a lot of grunge music on the radio.
Yeah.
And that's not really everybody's cup of tea.
This
So-
was very much pop.
Yeah, very exciting.
Happy sounding.
Yeah. Kind of like ABBA, except Nazis. So, So it took hold in the United States because it was during a time where not a lot of people really liked the music that was being produced. So instead of them listening to this grunge music that maybe not all the generations would have appreciated, they were listening to Ace of Base, which was, they were fun and they had some catchy songs and they weren't yelling in your face like some grunge music was doing. And we're not saying definitely that Ace of Base are Nazis or neo-Nazis or racist or anything you want to say.
We're just saying the conspiracy theories. We're saying
They're saying,
facts.
they're saying that there's evidence that lines up to say this, plus just the fact of Ekberg's past.
Ekberg's past plays a huge part in this.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And I feel bad. I felt bad as soon as you read the quote that he had said, where he put it all behind him, because we're bringing it up again.
Yeah.
And
But at the same time, like, all of these things that we're bringing up are pretty strongly suggest that he didn't leave it all behind.
yeah, and I think in a sense, the ideals that you have when you become a neo-Nazi are very hard to let go of, because I feel like that's a very ingrained thing that is not just necessarily you deciding it. It's like it has to be some pressure from when you're like young or something like that, young and impressionable.
Again, that goes to the thing that we're dealing with now, that people use that excuse about being racist.
Yeah, is that it's not really an excuse. You should be able to see that that's racist or that's anti-Semitic, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. I hope you liked us dissecting Ace of Base and their absolutely racist and neo-Nazi tendencies.
Hold on.
Subscribe.
No, just again to put that out there, these are just conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
These
please
are
don't
not
sue us.
Actually, we're not saying that they actually are, but we're saying that there's a lot of ties that could assume that they might be, but don't sue us because we are children.
Yeah, we're children.
Like and subscribe.
Anyways, to cap it all off, I'm Mariette, this is Ari, and this is Izzy, and we're part of Alpha Squad.
We're part of Alpha Squad.
So thanks for watching.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like
and
button.
turn on the bell for notifications.
And we might do more of these, but we don't know. So
Yeah.
just
We're hoping to talk about
other stuff.
other stuff.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, Disney,
On ice.
Disney on ice.